Alrighty guys, we're back for Nahiri Cavalry, and this is an Outlaws of Thunder Junction standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. First things first, this was kind of sort of a Discord suggestion, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's going to be a fun one. It was essentially a Selesnya Cavalry list, so I added red to it for Bitter Reunion. All four of them making the cut because I think there's going to be plenty of moments where giving our creatures haste is going to be excellent, but also just like filtering through our janky hands sounds pretty good to me too. Same concept for Nahiri's Resolve. Just giving haste to things is going to be excellent, but we also have a whole bunch of ETBs in here that's going to work really well with Nahiri's Resolve. A bunch of early ramp, like Jewel Thief, for example, being a terrific ETB effect for Nahiri's Resolve, but also like Huatli being able to grab some basics from the deck sounds good. Also, flipping this into Roar of the Fifth People is not unheard of at all. And also pretty good too. On the third chapter of the saga, we search our library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, put it into our hand, and we have a whole bunch of terrific top-end dinos to look at. Like Etali, of course, making the cut as a one-of. We also have this brand new Vaultborn Tyrant. This looks pretty good, guys. This is a 7 mana, 6/6. It has trample. Now, whenever Tyrant or another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Beautiful. And then also when this dies, if it's not a token, you create a token that's a copy of it, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Yeah, sounds pretty solid about what you'd want from a top-end creature, right? So we also have Tyrranax Rex making the cut. Has haste in and of itself, so you don't have to give it haste from like a Bitter Reunion or Nahiri's Resolve. I think it's going to be terrific here on the top end. We also have, my goodness, we have 4 Moonshaker Cavalries. I mean, we did name the deck Nahiri Cavalry for a reason, huh? So this is a 8 mana 6/6. It does have flying. When it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain flying and get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Oh my goodness. So this could be a lot at the very least. What if you're just giving like 3 creatures, +3/+3, and flying? I think that in this build in particular, I think that could honestly be enough. Now we're ramping into this using creatures as well. Like we have all 4 Llanowar Loamspeakers as well as a couple Armored Scrapgorgers. And honestly, maybe we want 4 Scrapgorgers and drop something else, because there's a lot of things in graveyards that we don't mind picking up with Scrapgorger. It happens to be a very good creature, huh? Also here on the top end, we do have a Combat Thresher. We could kind of think of this as a prototype for 3. It would be a 1/1 when it ETBs, we draw a card, or it could just be a really, really good top-end creature. But why do we need more top-end creatures in here? Well, we're going to try to cheat these top-end out with just 6 mana for some of these. So we got 4 Smuggler's Surprise. Okay. All 4 of them this time, because I really, really want to see this do the thing today. So it's a 1 mana instant speed. It does have Spree, so we choose 1 or more additional cost. Now that center additional cost is +4 and a green. So for 6 mana total, in other words, you may put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, now that is a good ability. Hopefully it actually does the thing too, right? So the idea is to go ahead and slam a couple Moonshaker Cavalries onto the board with that Smuggler Surprise. That would be disgusting. But as you can tell from everything on the top end, we don't mind hitting any of these at all, right? Oh, also Nahiri's Resolve, I wanted to bring this up too. Of course, pairs beautifully with these prototype creatures too, especially ones that have the ETBs where you draw a card. So yeah, beautiful. And we also have a Green Sun's Twilight here for X and a green. Sorcery speed. Reveal the top X cards +1 of your library. Choose a creature card and or land card from among them. Put those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If X was 5 or more, instead you put the chosen cards onto the battlefield or into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So it's just another way to spend 6 mana and cheat a big chunky 8-drop onto the board. Pretty cool, man. I do think Smuggler's Surprise is going to be much better, but you know you're not searching the top of your library, so it might be actually pretty difficult to keep creatures in your hand for the surprise. Also, there's other spree abilities on the surprise as well that I should probably go over real quick. So it's got a +2 here too, where you mill 4 cards, and then you may put up to 2 creature and or land cards from among the milled cards into your hand, so that could come in handy for just 3 mana total. And then it also has another one for a +1 creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Also another one that could really come in handy, huh? So no honorable mentions today. I had the sideboard completely stocked full of cards that could have made the cut, and I just dropped all of them because at that point, like, we could make this deck 4 times over and land on something different every single time. So I just dropped all the honorable mentions. Let me know what you would add or take out in the comments. And a mana base that I thought about for a little bit, some noteworthy things is like the Roadside Reliquary, for example. Other than that, we'll go ahead and save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Oh, buddy, this week it's the battle for jank, huh? No, yeah, I think that the deck is going to be relatively janky. I think that the metal, the metal, what on earth? I think that the meta is particularly brutal right now. Everything seems so good and so powerful all the time. Opponent goes first here. This is a really slow hand. We go down to 6. It could be worse. At least we have Jewel Thief. Jewel Thief ramps us a little bit. We have a couple draws before the Jewel Thief comes down. Yeah, we better keep this, honestly. It could be much, much worse. Ooh. Another Jewel Thief is good. See if this is a play with fire. We are in danger, my friends. If this is mono red, we gotta go, go, go. Hopefully we see a turn 2 off the top here then. All of our turn 2s get picked up by a lightning strike, unfortunately. But at least that would be a lightning strike that's not hitting our face. Now that we're getting close to our turn 3, mana off the top would be totally fine. Adversary comes down. We're already at 12, and and mono red hasn't even had a very fast lineup over there. Okay, mana off the top would be terrific. In this deck in particular, we're braving it out with only 25 mana. So hopefully 25 is enough, as these 3 lands were already in our opener. I am going to risk the block here no matter what. Monstrous Rage is likely, I would say. Some form of combat trick is likely. Taking 3 less, though, and that still trades. Oh, putting a second Monstrous Rage in the air, too, brings us down to 4. We are in danger, unfortunately. It is not mana. So if we go Jewel Thief, we'll have Bitter Reunion. If we go Bitter Reunion, we could find mana off the... Yeah. Yeah, I like that much better. 3, 4... There's realistically nothing else left for us, right? I think it'll be Green Sun's Twilight as the discard. There's the mana, but it's tapped mana, unfortunately. All right. We got to play a couple cards at least, right? A good game opponent. Honestly, with 25, maybe that is too greedy. Maybe somewhere in the middle of this video, we'll go up to 26. Because, yeah, we're definitely going to want to see mana every single turn. Had we seen it on time, I think we're still going to die anyways based on the hand. We could consider that one, like, maybe we should have mulliganed to try to find some of our more early game stuff. A lot of our early stuff we would have had to block with, and then it was going to die to the Monstrous Rage combat tricks anyways. Yeah, that would have been a tough one, I think. Luckily, yeah, with what mono red was playing, like, it wasn't as fast as it could have been. That's for sure. Okay, here we go. Yep, this is a good hand. Yeah, we have our turn 2 and our turn 3, and we're going first. All, like, that is just so good. I would love to challenge mono red with this hand just to see what happens, you know what I mean? So bring it on, opponent. What you got for me? Yeah, so turn 2 Loamspeaker. Oh, Demir. Oh, no. That's much... that's much worse. I would say, for what we're trying to do in the mid game. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It could be like Esper Legends, which could be an interesting one to go up against. Oh, it could be a fun variant of Dimir too. Okay. So when you proliferate, you return Voidwing from your graveyard to your hand. It has Toxic 1/2 there in the air. Okay. Jewel Thief it is. Great ramp. All of that is terrific. I'm actually going to swing too, because we can't block on the ground. I guess we could have swung before combat, but we would have preferred that block anyways, so either way, we were going to cheese the 1-through. They swing, get the Toxic Ball rolling. They might keep 3 open here, so that could be scary. And look at this, guys. If we get to keep the Loamspeaker on the board, we already will have 6 mana, which is where we'd want to see one of our Smuggler surprises. So a good reason to have. Oh, Loamspeaker does not survive the turn anyways. Another Moonshaker Cavalry. We have 5 mana. The death touch on that's pretty good, isn't it? Start with the draw. 2. I want to keep the green source open, I would say. Right? Hey, what am I doing? That's our white source. Sorry, opponent. I don't know how to function sometimes. So we'll get the draw. Okay, mana isn't bad, but we definitely want to try to cheat these cavalries onto the board. They're probably going to swing with the Skull Dweller next turn because the poison is doing much more than our 3 damage is doing to them. We do have Who Endures available, so we go no attacks. That's a great block for them. I think we'd rather take the poison from the swing, and hopefully they do swing, so that way we have a better swing next turn. Now they hold it back. Okay. Yeah, because our extra damage going through is... We were valuing it higher, and the opponent was as well there. That's why they kept that back. Draw 2. Oh, yeah, since we're at 3 now. That's just 1 mana. Draw 2. This is honestly scary. It's a deck that we don't see very often. And we're trying to see part of our combos to cheat these cavalries onto the board. Holy cow, dude. These Distorted Curiosities are really good. Okay, Bitter Reunion. Yep, we're going to just use that right away. Get rid of the Copperline Gorge, I would say. Yep. Let's do it. Copperline Gorge. Get out of my hand. Smuggler surprise. Oh, it is going to be a surprise too, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll have 6 with surprise and 1 extra to give the Moonshakers haste. All right. We keep everything. Oh. We have the Swing the Thresher, though. Yeah. If they double block, that's just ridiculously good for us. Did we have to do the extra damage? Maybe we should have just kept the blocker back. Actually, I hope we don't die now. Dude. 3 poison on the board. 4 open. Are we gonna die? I should have kept Thresher as a blocker. I really should have. At 17. The double Moonshakers should still be enough, right? We should probably block this. Take 2, that's 5. Because they have 4 cards open and we would need 4 more. 1 less. 12. The double strike on the Thresher. If they kill it, though. Alright, let's go no blocks. It's because if it's Drown and Ichor or the Thresher remaining, the Moonshakers give each other 2. Oh no, that's still enough because they give that to each other, right? So that's still, what, 20 damage then? Distorted Curiosity, so that's good. It's not Proliferate. Skull Dweller. We still have 2 open. Come on, tap out, opponent. Tap out. Come on. Come on. No. Okay. It's going to be a counter spell, isn't it? It's totally a counter spell. Bro, if we could pull this off, though. Whatever. We're just going right against it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, land. Come on. Hit this table. How cool would this be? Ooh. Ooh. Double Moonshakers. Okay. +4/+4. Oh, let me play it out. Let me play it out. Look at this. Haste from the Bitter Reunion. Oh my goodness. How cool is this, huh? All of them have flying. Looks like they do have spot removal for at least one of these. No, I want to swing so bad. Oh, that's pretty cool though. That's exactly what the deck is trying to do. Combo off with those Moonshakers. That was beautiful stuff. That was really, really cool. All right, getting the last quest done for the evening too. Awesome. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I wonder how consistently we can pull that out. The second they kept the 2 open, like I was almost certain it was going to be a counterspell, guys. Like, seriously, man, I'll tell you what, it's been rough out here. I don't know. It might literally just be me. It might be, but it kind of feels like the opponents have been having exactly what they need when they need it. So, just thought it was going to be a counterspell, but it landed, and that was awesome. We could grab a white source off the Huatli, of course. I think this is fine. Opponent goes first. Okay. Okay, I'll keep the 7. I can never really tell when it's a risky keep and when it's a risky mulligan. Because, like, overall, I don't mind the hand, but it is kind of a slow one, isn't it? Double blue open for the opponent. This is a good counter for them, I would say. But I'd rather them counter Scrapgorger than Huatli any day. Crucible likely comes down as a red source when we need it. Brushland is our white source now too. I'll play the Brushland and I'll attempt the Huatli. This might be an example hand of why Green Sun's Twilight, maybe we want a different balance between Surprise and Twilight. Look, Huatli's hitting this board. So red source for Crucible to keep in hand, or white source so we're not burning ourselves from the pain land as much. I'm gonna go white source then. Because we don't have to keep Crucible as utility, right? I think it's totally fine. Just play that out as our red source. Like, no worries there. Bibblethip. Hi. What you doing, buddy? I have no idea what you do. I'll read you in a second, though. Okay. So this says Ward 2. Look at the top card of your library at any time. The top card of your library has plot. The plot cost is equal to its mana cost. You may plot non-land cards from the top of your library. Okay, cool. They got one island open here too. We have, oh yeah, the double Moonshakers and the Surprise is kind of wild. We do have Green Sun's Twilight for 3 if we want to do that, right? So if you do 3, you look at the top 3. And you still get to stock your hand with lands and creatures. If you see any, of course. It's only 3. We should probably keep these back because we're going to have 6 mana in no time. And one of them's going to get countered. For sure. Both of them are probably going to get countered, right? I don't know. I mean, after that last game, I guess the opponent could miss the counter spell. But, like, keeping them both back, instead of just going in and just spending our mana for no real good reason, to go Impulse on their turn, probably to find a land then. Find a third. We might flip this Huatli. Yeah, we might flip this. And flipping is pretty good against mono blue when they keep open mana for counter spells. But with 3 open too, it could be counterspell and like a thirst. Either way, we're almost there. We're almost to the 6 mana required. They go for the swing. Okay. It looks like they might be tempted to play a creature here. Yeah, a little bit of patience is probably the best bet. Oh, Tyrranax Rex. That's pretty good against mono blue. Now, this in and of itself can't be countered. We might just want to wait till we have 7 to actually play that. So Crucible can come down. Now we're not going to take the pain from flipping the Huatli, which we can do after combat too. So I think we do risk the swing. Try to get 2 more off of the opponent's face. If they bounce it or something, we'll just recast it. And then not worry about the flip here. I guess they could still bounce it, only now we're tapped out. Gonna be a fading hope. Crap. That's pretty good. That's really good tempo, actually, because we spent 5 mana to get to this point. Bitter. We're not in danger until the Hadi Djinn lands, which is, it had to have been what the opponent was considering last turn. They had 3 mana, but no protection for the Djinn. Oh, terror. Okay, that is... Oh, Hadi Djinn. Okay, well now we're in danger, huh? With 2 mana open, 2 cards in hand, do we just risk it? Do we just go for it? We got 6 on the board now. We also have Smuggler's Surprise at instant speed. But if we pass it back, there's a chance that they draw the counter spell they need anyways. Well, I mean, there's probably a good chance it's in hand regardless. Maybe it's just like Green Sun's Twilight instead then. What could we find? Next turn, we'll have 7 for the Rex, which can't be countered. 7, 12. We might just die next turn if they hit this counterspell properly, right? If we pass it back, we might just have really, really good blocks, honestly. Again, they could draw into that counterspell, though. Okay. I say we risk the actual surprise, and we do this on the opponent's turn. Maybe they missed the counterspell, huh? Oh, they plotted that Make Disappear, and they go Terror. We still have 2. The plot on the Fibblethip was pretty sick. They can't play that this turn, though. All right. Also, Seed of the Empire hits Hadi Djinn really well, if we need to. Let's do this. Come on, land. Come on. Just like the last game, hit this table. Oh my goodness, it is hitting the table too. A couple Moonshakers ought to pull us back in. Blocks the Hadi Djinn really well. Blocks the Terror really well. I guess they could have Fading Hope. That gets the... Well, let's see what they end up doing here. This is kind of insane, dude. I can't believe it, but we actually landed 2 surprise against open blue sources. And it's another Hadi Djinn. Okay, the opponent's at 16. A full swing forces blocks, right? Like Rex comes down. They can't use the Make Disappear. Full swing forces a block somewhere, and we're still at 17. So we're doing it. Yeah, at least one thing needs blocked here, no matter what. Blocking on the ground would mean we get 15 through, and they get to keep the Djinn in the air, and we likely survive the turn. This is kind of wild, actually, huh? I consider us getting lucky the last couple games. Open blue sources, no counter spells for the surprise. That was sick stuff, dude. Holy cow. And getting to 6 mana has been relatively easy so far. Opponent's considering what block is the best here. Taking Cavalry out of the air with the Djinn, it's a good trade for them. It's a 3 mana card for an 8 mana card, right? But that's one of their main win conditions here, is they're trying to figure out how to get that last 17 damage through too. They're actually, ooh. Okay. Yeah, they could just block on the ground. Oh, GG opponent. Because they could take 15 damage for the turn by just blocking on the ground. And then attempt victory with Hati Djinn next turn. Heck yeah, I had fun, dude. That was cool stuff, man. Holy cow. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. So far, the combo's doing the combo. It's totally doing the thing. Yeah, like, in the final thoughts, we'll talk more about like maybe the balance between Smuggler's Surprise and the Green Sun's Twilight, but like so far we've had enough creatures in hand to say that the Smuggler's Surprise is the pick for the 4-of. But you know, maybe it should be 3 and 2 or something too, because yeah, Green Sun's Twilight, you don't have to have it in hand, you're picking it off the top. I like it. All right, we got Ramp with Loamspeaker, Ramp with Jewel Thief. Vaultborn Tyrant's only 7 mana, and at that point too, with the ramp on Loamspeaker and Jewel Thief, any land off the top too might mean like a turn 4 Smuggler's Surprise if we top deck that too. Isn't unheard of. We have a lot of land and all 4 Smuggler's Surprises, which would kind of be wild, huh? And the opponent does go first here. We're going to go ahead. Oh, the opponent has arrived. All right, let's keep it. Yeah, with all these top-end huge creatures, hopefully we're not up against more blue, right? Because those counter spells, like I was sweating way too much. I was terrified of counter spells. Oh, Surveil, they kept it on top, huh? Oh, Smuggler's Surprise. Okay, one step closer. Now just need to see a land and somehow keep these creatures alive. There's Surveil. There's a land. Are you kidding me right now? Next step, creatures need to survive. Well, Loamspeaker. Jewel Thief doesn't need to survive. It just needs to land on the board. White rigging, huh? All right, looks like 2 explosive Naya decks are setting up. Jewel Thief. Oh, we don't have haste on the Tyrant and the Cavalry, by the way, so I guess it won't be like, you know, it won't be a 1-turn kill or anything crazy, but yeah, we don't want to use the treasure because we don't want to run into like a temporary lockdown next turn or something. So we could have done Loamspeaker, Scrapgorger, get rid of the treasure, and then have Scrapgorger, Loamspeaker as the ramp, but we could easily run into some removal. They let us keep the Loamspeaker. That's huge for us. Green Sun's Twilight off the top. Holy cow. Okay. That is 6 mana on the board. So we could go Tyrant and Cavalry. We only have the swing on the Loamspeaker, unfortunately, at that point. Maybe it's Green Sun's Twilight for the turn. X is 5. See if we find something else. I think that's okay. We're using our treasure, so we're going to need to see more land. Oh. That isn't terrific, isn't that? Yeah, no, this is bad. Let's grab Sundown Pass then, and Jewel Thief, and submit 2. And to the battlefield they go. Running into a board wipe. What are the odds? We just don't know what we're up against, guys. Well, we played around it last turn, and for what, right? And they got, like, the fight rigging, and they played, like, the lightning helix and stuff. Let's just get the Scrapgorger down. It's a chance we see a land off the top, too, so... Appraiser, discover 3. Wow, Hammerskull. Buff the Hammerskull with the fight rigging. Grab the free card off the fight. Oh my goodness, dude, it's Etali. Holy cow. I guess, you know what? Angel Fire Ignition. Nahiri's Resolve. Dude. Did the opponent just win a 22 damage on the board? Okay then. Well, I guess we're forced to block here. Take 14. They gain... I don't know if the opponent could have had any better hits there, right? Nahiri's Resolve from us is crazy. What a crazy hit off the Etali. Honestly, they might have some of their own Nahiri's Resolve in the deck. They very well might. They only exile one thing, unfortunately. Guys, I'm a little taken aback. That was crazy, man. All right, well, we got to go, I guess, Smuggler's Surprise. We could wait till their turn. Well, they have Angel Fire Ignition anyways. Yeah, I think we do this on our turn, right? And I think we're goners. Okay, yeah, I was trying to think that through a little bit. Because we could give hexproof and indestructible to our creatures, but we don't have a way to give haste, is the thing. We get to exile the Angel Fire Ignition. Thank goodness. Vaultborn Tyrant and Moonshaker Cavalry could come down next turn for the victory instead. So maybe it's Combat Thresher instead. We won't gain the extra life, though. Now, this is totally fine. So we're gaining 6 here, restocking our hand. It's +4 to everything. Getting... Oh, Roadside Reliquary. We only have 2 open, though. Well, that could have been interesting. I guess we do swing in the air. Since they gain so much life, we're going to need to get them down a little bit. Appraiser comes back, but they didn't cast it, so they don't get the Discover. Oh, Appraiser from hand. Discover 3. It's going to be a temporary lockdown. That only affects us. They buff wide here. Everything has haste. That should be game, huh? Because the trample damage gets through. So we had a really cool lineup overall. Let's see, 9, 10. Wait a minute. Oh, 13, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have terrific blocks, huh? GG opponent, I mean, that was... The things that they saw there was crazy. So, unfortunately, unlike Lifelink, we weren't going to get the other Vaultborn for the extra 3 life there, too. If I went with... If we would... Well... I don't know if there was a way through that, man. Hitting that Etali on the fight rigging and then the Nahiri's Resolve. Oh, and the Angel Fire Ignition. I mean, I almost fell out of my chair, guys. I might as well have fallen out of my chair at that point. Holy cow. All right, guys, let's go one more. The deck is pretty cool so far. Very, well, combo heavy, obviously, but like very explosive. And that was a great example of a match where haste really would have come in handy. And so, yeah, having Nahiri's Resolve or Bitter Reunion on our board would have been excellent. Yeah, we'll give this a shot. The opponent goes first. We have Loamspeaker on time, and Loamspeaker helps us cast the Bitter Reunion, hopefully, too. That's kind of the concept here. I really, really don't like mulligans, because usually when I do, I have to keep 6 cards that were worse than the original hand, and so let's just hope, huh? Because if we lose our 1 red source out of Loamspeaker, then this is a terrible hand. It is a goner, guys. All right, red source off the top, never punished. That's what we're looking for. That's what we need. Come on, red source. Oh, Loamspeaker survives. Loamspeaker survives, guys. Holy cow. We start with the Bitter Reunion because we might discard that forest. Since we still have the Who Endures. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, only 25 total mana, though. Uh-oh, still no red source. We'll get a red source on the Jewel Thief, but everything else is pretty bad. Winders is open. I'm pretty sure we still want to keep that as land. Okay. Okay, I mean, technically... So this is a hand, too, where we'd much rather see the Green Sun's Twilight. Right? I think so, but I guess it depends what we end up drawing here. Geoldred, okay, you are 4 turns too early. Get a card draw here down to 19. Up to 21 because of Sheoldred on the board. We take 5 down to 12, and we need to see a red source, I guess, right? Oh, Nahiri's Resolve. Okay, okay, that could be interesting. Down to 10. I don't know how many turns we have, though. We don't. We actually, if we play Nahiri's Resolve for the turn, we die. Unfortunately. Because it could be Who Endures, we have the 5th mana, but then they have 9 on the board for the swing, and then they just pass. And Sheoldred wraps up the game for them. So we got to get some chump blockers down. If we start with Bitter Reunion and ditch the 3rd Bitter Reunion, we might find a land that we'd rather play over the Who Endures. A couple Moonshaker Cavalries, huh? Oh, crap. Punished from the Sheoldred too, but we were going to... I mean, like... We were pretty much dead anyways, huh? Yeah, the Sheoldred punish, we knew that was going to happen. But it just doesn't really matter, huh? If we would have not done that and just kept 2 blockers back, they still have enough of a board state here to just use some simple spot removal to wrap up the game that way. The big thing now, though, is we only have the chump for Sheoldred. 5 still gets through, then they pass it back for the draw. Now, we were actually just 1 turn away from the Moonshaker, too. Land off the top would have been Moonshaker haste on the Bitter Reunion. So really neat that we actually still had the combo, guys. Wait. Yeah. Land off the top would have been haste for the Moonshaker. Okay. So I shouldn't have drawn with Bitter Reunion because there was chance of survival, not strong chance though. Again, if I would have kept the Loamspeaker back, if we had 2 blockers, they could have easily removed some. Let's see what was on top of the deck here too. Because I suppose... yeah, there's nothing we could do. Loamspeaker. So it wasn't a land anyways, so we didn't get incredibly punished. But I will go ahead and do this at instant speed, right? This is pretty cool, man. Oh, you know what? Vaultborn Tyrant would have gained us life to stick around, too. So again, same concept. Same concept here. Like Vaultborn Tyrant and the Moonshaker gain some life. Stick around. If that Loamspeaker was a land, we could have given it haste. Dude, that is crazy to think about, right? Like, I don't even think that's not even that far-fetched, right? Oh, earlier, I discarded a forest to the Bitter Reunion, too. So that's noteworthy, too. Like, as you practice with with a deck like this, that's something you would say to yourself, like, oh, well, actually, I'm going to save that because I always want to see the 5th when it comes time, or something along those lines, right? Dude. So wait, so Vaultborn Tyrant, so it wouldn't have been lethal, right? If it was Vaultborn Tyrant and Moonshaker Cavalry, the Cavalry would have been 9. The Tyrant would have gained us 6, right? So that Bitter Reunion play was actually just terrible. And actually, I think we potentially would have had a chance there. And honestly, like, thank goodness for that, right? Because I think the deck is showing off there then a little bit at that point with what it can potentially do. Outlaws, a Thunder Junction pack. Let's crack it. Let's see what we got. Ooh, I have not built around this Oxen you control have double strike card yet. Are there any other Ox we could play with in Standard? I'm not really sure right now, but that's one that could be fun to visit at some point. You know what, guys? I got a little bit of gold, and I'm like 1 pack away from a golden pack. Let's do that real quick. That sounds like fun. Guys, let me know in the comments if you know. The Mythic packs, does that give us a chance of getting the big score Mythics as well? Because I'm not 100% certain on that. I don't know if we just get like a normal Mythic, or if we get some of those big score Mythics. Because the big score Mythics have been holding up some of my deck building at the beginning here. We got an Insatiable Avarice. Cool, cool. And then how about that golden pack? See what we got here. Oh, we got some kind of mythic. Oh, Yaris. That's probably my 4th Yaris. Claim Jumper. I think that's my 2nd one. Judith. I haven't built around Judith yet. Traneth Runes. Okay. Hey, okay. It's time to make an Ox deck, I suppose, huh? There we go. There we go. What we got here? Galta. Galta, are you trying to say something? Are you trying to say that you wanted in this build, huh? Is that what I'm hearing right now? Galta could be really cool. Guys, that's my 3rd one. Ooh, let me know in the comments if you want to see an Ox build. I don't know what other Ox there are, though. Let's see right now. Ox. Oh, no. Okay, it might be difficult to figure out what Ox are in Standard. Oh, holy cow's an Ox Angel, though. So there we go. There we go. At least we have something else. So also, whenever this Bruise Tarl Roving Rancher enters the battlefield or attacks, you exile the top card of your library. If it's a land, you create a 2/2 white Ox creature token. Otherwise, you may cast it until the end of your next turn. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I had no idea what that was going to do. Oh, I know how we could do it. What is it? It's like we do type. This has nothing to do with this deck, guys. I apologize, but now I really... Okay, it's T for type. And then what? Do we do like colon and then Ox? Did that work? I don't think that worked. Wait, did it? Oh, it did. It's just showing us Fox cards too. Oh, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of Ox to build around, unfortunately. Wait a minute, there might be some in other colors. Okay, yeah, I don't see many. That might be a hard build around right now. Maybe there will be more in the upcoming sets, right? Okay, guys, here's the deck list again. Pretty cool stuff, man. I can't believe that one opponent hit our Nahiri's Resolve with that Etali. That was crazy stuff, man. Seriously, though, like you don't see that amount of explosion, that amount of just popping off every day. So that was actually really cool, huh? Huatli, I think this is a good card still. Yeah, I think it's just good. It actually paired really nicely against Mono Blue. They tempoed us really, really well when we activated the 5, unfortunately. That could have been any spot removal too. Definitely something to consider. You spend 5 mana on this and then it just dies. Could be really sad. Getting around some counter spells and actually just playing the Smuggler Surprise and the instant speed actually coming in handy today too. All that was really, really cool. Do we want a better balance between Surprise and Green Sun's Twilight? I don't know. In those matches, I would say no. But there are going to be plenty of moments where you just don't have enough creatures in hand to play this to play this properly, right? Combat Thresher was cool. There wasn't a lot of moments where we just wanted to go ahead and like cheat this onto the board instead of something else that was even chunkier. What's neat about Combat Thresher is already having the double strike. First of all, restocking your hand is great, but let's say that you have a Nahiri's Resolve on the board by some miracle, and then you have the Smuggler Surprise next turn for 6 mana, right? That's your 5, that's your 6 mana right there. Or you're ramping into all this stuff too, hopefully, quite nicely too, by actually keeping some creatures on the board or anything like that. And maybe you go Smuggler Surprise, and you go 2 Combat Threshers. At that point, they're 4/3 double strike with haste because of that resolve too, and that is a very powerful swing. The opponent is gonna block something for sure, and whatever they block is very likely dying at that point as well. So creating a very valuable trade where you're, it already replaced itself. It already put something into your hand too. That's kind of a similar concept with Vaultborn Tyrant too. This actually seems pretty cool. How many of these do I have? 2. Okay. I mean, I would keep it at 2, probably. I was just double checking because maybe it would be cool to have 3 Moonshaker Cavalry. I always want to say Cavaliers. Cavalry. There we go. And then 3 Vaultborn Tyrants too. This does seem like a really neat card, doesn't it? And the 25 mana, it felt like enough for now, but I'm wondering, guys, what we could do to trade this up to make the combo happen more often, as it did feel relatively consistent overall. And another very expensive list too, guys. Just a whole bunch of mythics packed in. It's actually disgusting how expensive some of these, like, just really fun combo decks are. Unfortunately, just another one to put on the do not craft list. These last couple of weeks, we've just been really going for the jank, and a lot of this jank, we just have to, we're forced to put them on the do not craft list, you know what I mean? They're just too expensive. They're just not going to do as much as you would hope most of the time, and most of the time they're going to get you less than a 50% win rate too, which it definitely feels bad. Winning is nice. So something noteworthy here too is artifacts and enchantments. We have 6 total enchantments in here between the Bitter Reunion and the Nahiri's Resolve. Maybe we want like 3 Bitter Reunion and 3 Resolves, but there's a big problem when you get to that 5th mana. Are you dying the next turn? I think most of the time the answer is going to be yes, and so instead of taking that entire turn to play a Nahiri's Resolve, you're probably just forced to get chump blockers down anyways, which makes sense as to why we only have 2 Resolves, and then just filtering with the Reunion too. Okay. So, Roadside Reliquary is one of the reasons we have the split between artifacts and enchantments. Combat Thresher being an artifact, and then we're generating treasures off the Jewel Thief as well. So, like, extra draw power on the Roadside Reliquary. I don't think the colorless is going to hold you up nearly as much as you would think, because you're trying to cheat things out anyways with Smuggler's Surprise and Green Sun's Twilight. So, like, the triple green and the casting cost on Rex and triple white on the Moonshaker, it just doesn't matter as much as you would think. Mirrex being like a mana fixer in here, generating the mites won't do too much for you, but it is generating artifacts, which does work with the Roadside Reliquary. So again, helping you draw 2 off the Reliquary when it comes time. Opting for early green with Thicket, anytime green, anytime white with Brushland. We got a late red with the Sundown Pass, as well as late white as well. And then early green once again with the Copperline Gorge, and early red for the Bitter Reunion too. So that's the thought process behind the mana base. I think the mana worked out pretty nicely overall. We're heavily leaning towards green because that's what the deck is heavily leaning towards as well. Crucible, Who Endures, Seed of the Empire. Probably not enough removal in the deck, but we really are just trying to skip the removal and just go explosion to the opponent's face, and it totally did the thing. So still pretty janky overall. And could we make it less janky by adding more removal? No, probably not, honestly. I think you're just going to take away from the explosion of the list, and then just kind of be stuck in the void with the deck list, you know what I mean? So yeah, once again, I would put this on the do not craft list. Very cool though. Very satisfying to see just pop off with the Moonshakers and whatnot. All right, guys. Hey, enough rambling. Made it this far into the video for real. Y'all are champions. Make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. And I will see y'all in the next one.